Yeah, Ross is a hardworking guy. He's worked really hard. He's definitely improved. I think all the rookies. I just I've said this a few times. Probably said it too much. I mean, I just think it's a tough year. I mean, you don't have any. First of all, you had no off-season program. We have a really good rookie development program. That Jack runs, and so he didn't have that, right? And then all the practices that you would have post-draft. All the conditioning sessions. He didn't, and it's not their fault, right? So it's just how fast can he get caught up to the speed of the game? I think the guy really works hard. I think he's a really good player, and I think he's going to help us. But all those guys, not just Ross, they're a long way off. I mean, it's just a totally different ball game than college, and so. But they're working, and Ross is working, and he's definitely improving.
Do you would Blacklock, because he was your second round pick and really talented and smart, would you expect him to say get up to snuff quicker than the other rookies, especially considering the opportunities he could be getting as a pass rusher?
Well, I just think that, I mean, it doesn't matter where you drafted him, you know what I mean, relative to that, relative to your question. I just think his work ethic and the way he's coached, Weave does a really good job with those guys. And, you see improvement, in, at TCU, that's the other thing. Like at TCU, he was slanting and angling a lot, right? He was on the move quite a bit at TCU. And it's, for us, it's a little bit of a different system. We're going to be on the move at times, but we also play a lot of technique. Not that TCU doesn't. I think TCU does a good job, but I'm just saying, it's different. And so I think he's getting better, and I think he's working hard. And, we have high expectations for him, no doubt.
Aaron Wilson.
Good morning, Bill.
Hey, Aaron.
Bill, when you think about Lonnie Johnson, where he fits into the defense, do you see him playing more corner, or do you see him also playing some safety? And how do you feel like he can help you as you game plan for teams like the Chiefs?
Come on, Aaron. Come on, man. I think you've got it. I mean, he's a versatile guy. I think primarily he's an outside corner. But last year he did some different things. I mean, he'll help us on special teams. I think it's week to week. We've got to look at the opponent and see where Lonnie's skill set fits the best relative to how we want to play that opponent. I mean, he does a lot of things well. He's a good guy. He works really hard, and he's got good size. He's kind of a unique skill set, right? So he can do some different things. And I think the big thing with Lonnie's health, making sure he stays healthy, just like pretty much everybody. That's the key. But if he stays healthy, he'll have a good year for us.
Do you have an update on Kiki Kuti and what's been keeping him from practicing the past few days, and also John Grenard?
Yeah, I would say that Kiki, we're just watching him a little bit. I don't want to get into the details because we're only 2 weeks out from the game. Kiki's having a good camp, I think, relative to ramp up again. That's going to be my general answer to injury questions. It's just a different type of ramp up for different guys. And sorry, I can't be more specific about it. I just can't. I just don't believe in being real specific about injuries, as you know, for 7 years. So, the other one is who? John Grenard. Yeah, John's doing all right. John will be all right. He's hanging in there. He'll be out there eventually.
Aaron Reese. Oh, we can't hear you, Aaron.
Mute.
Mark, we'll go to you and come back to you, Aaron. Mark Berman.
Hey, Bill, how are you?
Hey, Mark.
Bill, I need to ask you a couple of non-football questions. First of all, people in your position around the country, some of them are speaking out, expressing their feelings about what happened, the tragedy in Wisconsin. What are some of your thoughts about that?
It's hard to put into words. I mean, you're trying to, primarily right now, Mark, coaching the football team, right? Working really 19 hours a day coaching the team. But when I went home last night, I actually saw it for the first time. I had heard about it, saw the video. I mean, it's disturbing. It's terrible. I don't want to really get into politics. I think you guys know where I stand on this. I think that systemic racism is a major problem in this country. And I think that we all have to come together and realize that this has been these social injustices have been going on for a long time. long time. And it's not just police. That's one thing I want to make clear. It's been going on a long time in our economic system, in our real estate system, and our medical system, and everything. And it's time to come together and realize that everybody should be treated as equal. And that's how I feel about it. And but my primary job is to coach the football team. I mean, I do feel passionately about these things, and that was an awful thing to watch.
Obviously, you're getting the updates on Hurricane Laura, and it seems to be headed more toward our area. How is that affecting your call on Wednesday, especially Thursday for your scrimmage, or is it too early to even speculate?
Yeah, it's hard. You're right. I mean, but I'm looking at two different models. Now we're going from, it's funny. These are two off the football subject questions. You're right. But now I'm looking at a European model, and I'm looking at this other model, and I'm like, which model I don't even, like one looks like it's headed towards Louisiana. We're on the west of it. We stay on the west of it, maybe we'll be okay. But last time I checked, I didn't have a degree in meteorology, so I don't know. But we're definitely watching it. We had a phone call last night. Jack and I had a phone call last night with Jamie Roots and Susie Thomas and Jeff Schmitz and Greg Condritz, and we're on top of it. And we'll make a call when we have to make the call. I think this one's different than Harvey, right? You guys probably know better because it's more about wind, and Harvey was about rain. So I think the wind is an issue relative to our bubble and things like that. So we'll stay on top of it.
Take three more. Greg Bailey.
Hey, Bill, just a similar question about this. How important is the Thursday scrimmage to you and your development in this very strange setting of a ramp up to a season? And could you reschedule that if Laura forced the team to postpone?
Yeah, I mean, you definitely could reschedule it. I think it's important. I think it's just that, I think you have to, without preseason games, in my opinion, just for our football team, what's best for our team is to have two of these scrimmages, at least one of these in full pads where, we warm up like a game. We treat it as much like a game as we possibly can. Coaches in the press box and kind of go through all that, basically the logistics of a game. And so, we're going to try to do it. We're going to try to keep it for Thursday. Obviously, if the weather affects that, we'll just move it back. We'll figure out another day to do it.
Hey, Bill, can you hear me this time?
Yep, here.
Okay. Without contact on like a punt return, without preseason games, is that at all harder to evaluate what you have there at the punt return when, guys know they're catching it and no one's going to light them up running full speed?
I would say that's the same every year. I mean, you're not going to really I think you're talking about preseason games, but in practice, you're never really going to go live on a kickoff or a punt. But yes, you do get it in the preseason games. So you're right about that. But yeah, I mean, I think, look, we have a guy back there, DeAndre Carter, who's done it before. We got Randall Cobb, Will Fuller, Kiki's done it. John Reed did it in college. I mean, we got guys that we have quote unquote video evidence of them being able to do it. So just as long as they're working. I think the big thing is catching it, the technique of catching it, reading the trajectory of the punt. That's the big thing that you're trying to get out of practice relative to the returner himself.
Last one for John.
Bill, if you do indeed have to make adjustments because of the hurricane, how much will that set you back considering you start sooner than other teams other than the Chiefs?
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, right? I mean, there's not too much you can do about it. I wouldn't look at it as a setback. We've had good, hard practices. No one wants to go through a hurricane, but I mean, if something like that happens, we just adjust and adapt. I mean, that's 2020, right? I mean, this is like typical for 2020, right? You got all these things going on, and now you got a hurricane. I mean, it is what it is. You just adjust, you adapt. Jack and I call it stick and move. Stick and move, man. This is what it is. And if we get a hurricane, it's terrible, but we just adjust our schedule, and these guys, we'll have the team ready to go.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.